We're sewing up a quick and easy sweater today, perfect for fall and winter. This is McCall's 8144. I'm sewing view A today with the sleeves and the hem length of view C. The fabric that I'm using today was from a very soft and cozy Walmart bundle. The outside of the fabric has a very subtle ribbing and the inside is soft and fuzzy. And you can choose any comfortable knit with two-way stretch. I hope you sew along with me today, so grab your materials and let's get started. Place your front pieces right sides together and pin the center front seam. Sew or serge your center front seam with a 5/8 inch seam allowance. Now place your front and back pieces right sides together. Pin together the neckline and shoulder seams on both sides. Now I'm going to serge with a 5/8 inch seam allowance from the top of the neck to the end of the shoulder seam. Now that the cowl is formed, we can fold this section in half along the fold line marked from your pattern piece. And then we can hand sew those bottom raw edges to the shoulder seam allowances. Now that the shoulders and the bottom of the cowl material are sewn together, we can also reinforce the bottom of the cowl at the center front seam. Once again, sewing the raw edge of that material to the seam allowance. Now with these front and back pieces still right sides together, pin on both sides from the bottom of the underarm seam to the bottom of the garment. And sew both seams with a 5/8 inch seam allowance. Fold your sleeve piece in half right sides together and pin your underarm seam, doing this for both sleeves. And then sew those seams with a 5/8 inch seam allowance. Now I'll turn my sleeve right side out, and I'll place it inside my bodice, which is wrong side out. I'll match up the underarm seams and pin in place. I'll also match up my notches that indicate the front and the back of the bodice. And then I'll match the dot at the top of my sleeve with the shoulder seam and pin in place. And I'll do the same thing to insert the sleeve on the opposite side. Then using your sewing machine or your serger, sew all the way around with a 5/8 inch seam allowance, stretching that material as needed to ease the sleeve into the armhole from pin to pin. The hem allowance for the bottom of the sleeve is 1 1/4 inches. I'm going to fold up the raw edge to the wrong side by 1 1/4 inches all the way around and pin in place. Doing this for the bottoms of both sleeves. The hem allowance for the bottom edge of the garment is also 1 1/4 inches. I'm going to fold the raw edges to the wrong side in the same way as I did for the bottom of the sleeve and pin all the way around. Using a zigzag stitch, a twin needle, or your cover stitch machine, sew these hems in place all the way around the bottom of the garment and the bottoms of the sleeves. And now your sweatshirt is complete. Thank you for watching this sew along. Check out the rest of my video library for more great sewing inspiration, and I'll see you in the next video.